It's V with 85th and Wade. Thanks for joining me. Now I'm in a new environment, same house, different room. But as the title says for this video or this vlog, I think on my second or third Friday sews for the year or ever actually. And it's going to be more of a sewing and chat, life and chat type deal. So hopefully you'll stick around and leave some comments below. So first off, for the title, it has been a minute since I have vlogged, really even posted on Instagram. I've commented, here and there, I think on a couple of others' Instagrams, and I've liked a whole bunch of videos here, but I've not really had any engagement. And here's the reason why. So many of you know that I hosted a challenge, Sew Rump Jump Play 22, for pretty much the end of September and almost through the entire month of October, with the reveal date being National Jumpsuit Day and National Overalls Day on October 26th. I have been planning this challenge for months, reached out to some of my favorite vloggers or folks I wanted to connect with. They were all my favorites here on YouTube, and asked them if they would participate, and they said yes for the most part. And things were going good. So it's like I had all these, grand plans and things that I wanted to do. And then the challenge came, right? And it was going great until about midway through. So I had to go out of town. I got back from out of town. I became ill. So I was out for the count for about a week or so. So once I got better, I actually started a new job with a totally new employer. And then, a couple weeks after that, I had to go on just about a full week's conference. And so all that happened right around the middle of the challenge, and then of course extending past the challenge. And it was just like, holy cow. What is going on in my life? So I was not able to really put as big of a push as I wanted to with the challenge. And that disappointed me. Like, I was so, I guess, upset, disappointed, frustrated with the time that I could put into the challenge. Now, as far as, getting sick, I don't think anyone wants to do that, right? But the getting better part, okay, starting a new job, absolutely fantastic, enjoying myself there. Going out of town before I got sick, and then a few weeks after I recovered, totally awesome. But the challenge itself, I just could not dedicate the time and concentration to it. And so it kind of just puttered on my end. Now, I did have a village around me, and they did fabulous in terms of continuing to post on Instagram and posting their vlogs. And I will certainly put together an actual official vlog about the challenge and highlighting those ambassadors or my VIP line up for that. But as far as me, it was just so much going on that I just could not focus on it. And I felt so frustrated about it because like I said, I had so many plans about it. I just could not execute. And so that was disappointing to the point where I was pretty much just like non-existent anywhere. Like here on YouTube, over on Instagram, in my sewing room, over at Joann's, like there was nothing sewing happening, at the latter part during that time. And I just, oh gosh, it took a lot out of me, and it was hard for me to really get back into it. It wasn't that I necessarily lost my sojo, because I wanted to sew, I just didn't have the time. And then even when the time started to come back, I just didn't know how I was going to introduce myself or re-engage with the community, knowing that things just didn't work out as I had planned. So the title of this vlog is, this is supposed to be fun, isn't it? Like, isn't it supposed to be fun? Isn't this supposed to be a hobby? Aren't I supposed to just, when I get into that room or think about sewing or any hobby in general, it's supposed to brighten my day, give me a smile, have something to look forward to, be my distraction. And that just wasn't the case for me. I enjoy all of the participation from everyone who, sewed up a romper, jumpsuit, play suit, boiler suit. Those that, participated again as far as the vloggers that were, committed to it. So that was fantastic. It was just, I guess, my participation just wasn't up to my standards, and I really hate that, being this my first year out with this. So I have to learn to not be as hard on myself, and to just understand that life happens, and to pick it back up. But again, this was one of those things where it was just like months of planning, and the execution just wasn't there for me. So if you've ever did anything like this, in terms of you prepared for something, a family vacation or a trip or something like that, and it just it just didn't pan out the way you expected, how did you cope? Look, was sewing your fallback to that? Maybe it was. But let me know in the comments how you bounce back from when things just don't go as planned. So with all that said, I really don't have much in the way of finished garments to like show over the next few weeks. There just wasn't anything to finish because there wasn't anything started, right? But I will say that I was doing some cleaning up. I figured, okay, let me just get in here and, clean up the space a little bit. And by cleaning up, I mean, I had gone and bought some fabric before that I hadn't, prepared or washed. And so I just went and said, finish the edges of that, serge them and toss them in the washer. And I think that's what helped me get back into the groove of, oh, okay, well, let me think about some things that I want to sew, or let me put some fabric and patterns together and just kind of match some things for when I'm mentally there again, right? And so that did really help. And with that, I also knew that there was a couple things that were happening this month that I did want to participate in. Now, granted, today is what, the 18th, I think, of November. And so I don't have very much time left. But I knew there was, I had already planned for a collaboration with another Instagrammer, YouTuber, to put together a garment. And so wanting to finish that up. But also Martika from Martika J Makes, she has a challenge going on this month that's So Blue for diabetes. And so I figured, oh, wow, okay, it just so happened that the fabric that I'm using is actually blue. So perfect, I can support her in her challenge over on Instagram. And then I also, and this was maybe the end of September or beginning of October, I forget exactly when it started, but there was a sewing bowl challenge this month, and I had watched Michelle from Michelle Sews Again a few months ago. She participated and kind of talked about her experience, and it was like, whoa, okay, maybe that's something I want to keep on my radar. And so when they came out with it for the month of November, I figured, okay, let me just try it again. Maybe that'll ease me back into it. So I did, threw my name in the hat for that, and have a challenge, or have some criteria that I need to hit for that sewing bowl challenge. And so I'm excited to get into that. I think I'm already late, but I'ma still do it. It's just one of those things, y'all. If I commit to it, I want to see it through. So I am going to finish up that project. In addition, there was, or maybe still is, a sew a coat challenge. And so I want to participate in that as well. Now, the project that I'm working on hits all three of those. And so, I can, pull 3 ears of corn in one go, as they say. They don't say that. I don't want to kill birds, so I'm trying to figure out different ways to say that. If there's a different way you say it, leave it in the comments below. Or I can feed 3 birds with one. Well, they don't eat stones either. Seeds, I can feed 3 birds with 1 seed. And do this project and hit all 3. So that's what I'm planning for the month of November. 1 project, and hopefully be able to spread that across a couple of different challenges and things. Now, as far as the pattern matching and the fabric matching that I talked about, to try to get me into gear, there are a few that I was able to come up with as a result of that fabric that I had washed a few weeks ago. And so, it's been about 2 weeks now, I guess. And so I'm going to show you those. And, if you've made these garments before, let me know in the comments what your experience has been. That'll be helpful if I need to look out for anything, if something in the instructions weren't right, or you found a better way to do something, or if you have a vlog on it, leave that in the comments below, and I'll take a look at that as well. So as I mentioned, I have 1 project for this month, and then the rest of these that I'm going to show you are hope to do's. Hope to finish this winter before spring starts. We shall see. I'm not going to put a date on it. I'm not going to, hit deadlines and all this other stuff. We're just going to keep it smooth. Now, of course, we're rolling in for North America in some of those holidays or what have you. So in November and December time frame. So maybe I'll have some additional downtime to kind of play around in the sewing room, but I am not going to give myself any hard and fast deadlines that, this is what I want to do for November and this is what I want to do for December. This is we are going to work through these projects and get them done, period. Okay. So the first project I want to talk about is Berta 6056. And I'll pop it on the screen. This is a super easy, so they say, super easy project. And it really should be, at least for me, because 1, it's knit. So I can, probably do 90, maybe even 100, but at least 90% of this on the serger. There may be some twin needle hemming I'll need to do on the wrist and the waist. But other than that, it should be pretty simple as far as serger use. This is, it comes in US sizes 8 to 22, and it's just a basic turtleneck. I picked it up because I wanted a turtleneck pattern. However, I will say this turtleneck is looser than I would prefer, but this was the only thing that I saw at the time. I do like the fact that it has both short and long sleeves. But again, it's just the collar for me. And actually, I can tell you what I'm wearing. So I am wearing the January dress, which has been renamed. And if I find it, I'll plug it here on the screen somewhere or put it down below. But it's the January dress by Lydia Naomi. So this debuted January of 2022. I picked it up when she debuted it, and I think I sold it within that week or maybe even the same day or something like that, because I already had some good material or fabric to go with it. So check out that. I'll leave a link below to her website and her YouTube video, because she does usually have a video to go along with her patterns. And so I'll leave that below, but this is the January dress. Now this collar is a little different, and I knew that going in that it wouldn't be like a tighter neck to it because of the features on the shoulder. But as far as a top with this Berta Easy pattern, I do indeed want something that is a little closer to the neck. But I'm gonna go ahead and sew this up. Now the fabric that I am using, I bought from Hobby Lobby. So that's where I went. I can't remember if I was going for something specific or I just wanted to get out the house and just journeyed over to Hobby Lobby to see what they had. But this is a double brush poly. And so it's quite soft. It's kind of like a spice, burnt orange in that family. I guess rust, maybe you could call it, color, but it is really, really nice. And I picked up, I think, about 2 to maybe 2.5. I think this was the end of the bolt. So I just grabbed whatever they had. I actually wanted to make something like a dress, if not this one that I'm wearing again, then a knit dress, but it was only 2, like I said, 2, maybe 2.5, and I didn't know if that would be enough for an actual dress, but definitely a top. And then, you know, if there's anything I can do with the scraps of it, I'll see if I can use those, but definitely enough for a top. So I'm going to use this for that turtleneck pattern. And then they had some other fabrics. They actually had a sale going on. So all of these 3 fabrics, first ones that I'm going to show you, were on sale for $7.99. And then 2 of them were 50% off and the other was 40% off. So this was like, I want to say this one was maybe $9, like $8.98 total or something like that. And then this next one was, again, it was about 2 or so yards of it. And this again was, this definitely was the end of the bolt because they couldn't even find another bolt in the store. I really wanted more of this. And this was, I think, $9.58. So for the 2 yards or so. So a really good deal to get both of those. And this is actually, so this is flannel. And I am actually going to make Simplicity 9375, the skirt. I had actually pulled this out like last year. I think it came out in last fall, or I think it came out in fall 2021, definitely by winter 2022. And I had paired it with another fabric, but then ended up using that fabric for something else. But I do want to make this skirt. So I am committed to making this skirt with this fabric, like I said, sometime in the near future. And I actually think that it's going to pair well together as an actual outfit. I know the orange and the flannel isn't as deep as the top is, but I'm thinking that's going to turn out pretty cute. So to have just a turtleneck, a solid that of course I can wear with anything, and then have this flannel skirt, which because of the colors in it, I can probably get through early spring with this because of the white or the creamish type background and some of the lighter colors, but definitely here in the fall and the winter with that, with the black and then with that darker orange in there. So that's going to be hopefully one outfit that will get created really soon. Now you heard some rattling, and I've not really talked about how I organize things, but as far as patterns are concerned, what I normally do when I get my patterns is I take out the guts from the envelope. I'll stick this into a clear sheet protector, and then that goes into a binder. And I have 6 binders now. I'm actually looking at separating that out to about 8 or 9 binders just because they're getting so thick. But this goes into a binder, and then the instructions and pattern pieces and all that actually goes into a manila envelope, which I just simply put, you know, the company brand's first letter and then the number of the pattern, and then all that goes in here. And this is just kind of stacked on a shelf. When I'm actually working on a project though, I will collect the envelope, the innards, the fabric, and put that all into a clear plastic bag. And I know you guys can get as fancy as you want to with your plastic bags. This is just a jumbo bag from the Dollar Tree, right? I think it's like maybe 5 or 8. I forget how many are in there, but it's the largest bags they have, jumbo bags, and it can fit all of this right into the, you know, it can fit everything into this bag. So it works for me. Of course, it's plastic, so I'm trying to reuse this as many times as possible. And to be honest, I probably have about 30 or so project bags that are filled with projects on the guest bed right now. Most of them are garments. Some of them are like crafty things. So again, as I pair things together, I'm trying to go through my fabric as much as possible. So again, I am managing expectations with when I get through these projects, but just know that they are ready for me because fabric is, already washed and ready to go. Most of the pattern pieces aren't cut, but when I'm ready to get into that project, I'll go ahead and do that. So I have some options when I want to work. It's just a matter of when I'm able to. Okay, so the third fabric that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, again, it was $7.99 on sale, and this one was 50% off. It's like a linen fabric, and the stripes actually go the length or horizontal to the selvage. So I think that's going to be great in terms of using that, to lengthen me. I'm 5'5", so I'm not very tall, but not very short. So give me some length in terms of if I wear something with the heel or even flats that, I kind of look taller than what I am. Okay, so with this fabric, I purchased 5 or so yards of it, and this came out to like $21 before tax. So again, a really, really good price for this. And what I plan on making with, what I'm planning on making with this is Simplicity 8912. And because it's, pretty much fall or winter time, I will be looking at View A because of the longer sleeves. I'm thinking those are 3/4 length sleeves or elbow length, not necessarily long sleeve. So I'm going to measure that and see if I can extend it. I shouldn't say definitely. Yeah, I have enough fabric. So I have enough fabric to extend it to a long sleeve, and so that's what I want to do. I'm still going to keep that button there that's for you to roll up, but I do want to extend it just to a full long sleeve dress. I doubt that I will do any embellishments because of the stripes. That to me would just get a little too busy, but I may put a pocket on there. Here at the chest. I don't know if it actually has pockets. Yeah, it does. So it has side pockets, so that's great, but I may or may not put the chest pocket on there. But this is what I have planned for the striped dress. We shall see. I haven't looked up on Instagram if anyone's done it in stripes and so how that actually came out, but that's what I'm planning on. So those 3 projects, like I said, all of that fabric came from Hobby Lobby most recently in a sale, 50% off, and then an additional whatever sale they had on top of that for that week or that weekend. Now, the last project that I have been hoarding this fabric, I want to say, for probably 5 months now. I believe it was late spring, early summer that I actually picked it up. It was again from Hobby Lobby, which I'll have to admit, I don't go to Hobby Lobby very often, but obviously when I do, I find stuff there. So this was a purchase that I made with 2 other fabrics. This is a different colorway for it, but it's a gold corduroy. So again, hopefully I'll get to it before the seasons change. But this one I want to say is just at 2 yards. It's not that thick. So I'm thinking it's at 2 yards, and for whatever reason, I didn't make me a little tag or note to put in there how much I actually bought in terms of yardage, but I'm thinking for all of the 3 that I bought, I did get at least 2 yards of it. Now, I was thinking about putting together a garment that had this and my maroon corduroy together, but decided against that. And then I was thinking, well, I really still want to use this, and what could I do that's fairly simple right now? And so I came up with Project Runways from Simplicity 2508. And so this I think will look really cute in, I'm gonna say view A. They don't have the letters on this envelope, so I'm not sure which one it is, but it's the one that's in a corduroy. So I figure they made it in a corduroy, so I know, it will work out in that fabric. It's just a matter of, this gold and this gold on me, will I be able to pull it off? So I really like view A. I like those sleeves on there, and with the button tag, whatever you call that, on the sleeve. I like that the length of it, at least on her. I'm thinking she may be a little taller than me, so I probably will have to cut off a couple of inches there just so it can kind of hit me, right below the buttocks. But overall, I do like the style of that jacket. And it's the one with the least amount of buttons, and the least amount of like extras that I have to do with it. So we're gonna start with this, and then hopefully, because I do like all three of them, we need to start simple. So for this corduroy fabric, yeah, I will be hopefully doing this in Simplicity 2508, and that's inspired by Project Runway pattern. So those are the plans that I have in terms of, what I'd like to undertake here moving forward. Like I said, I have tons of other projects that I've already matched fabric and pattern. It's just a matter of, when I'll be able to get to them. Of course, some of those were some other coveralls and overalls and jumpsuits that I wasn't able to finish or even start really during the challenge, that I still want to make those. So, a lot of options. I'm never out of options. I've got plenty of fabric and patterns to choose from. It's just a matter of, okay, let me make sure I'm in a good headspace to start this project and actually finish. I told you a little bit about what was happening in life, what my sewing plans are moving forward. I'm glad to be back. Feels good to record. Like I said, I've been watching all types of YouTube videos. I think at one point I had like 150 something videos that I just kept hitting, watch later on the folks that I subscribe to, as well as, what YouTube would recommend, I check out. And so I do have a lot of those to go through. So enough entertainment to keep me through all of these projects. It's just, really not being so down on myself and knowing that, okay, things in life happen, and I just have to, make sure that when I'm engaged in my sewing hobby, perhaps my pattern hoarding hobby, as well as my fabric hoarding hobbies, because those are truly three different hobbies, that it's for my enjoyment and that I'm not putting any undue stress on myself when I engage in these hobbies. So again, feels good to be back. This is probably the longest video I have had in a few months, and will be in the next coming months. But just wanted to let you all know, what was going on, where I've been, what's been happening, and that, maybe this is an encouragement for someone else that, may be in or is about to be in or just came out of maybe the same or a similar situation, that this is for our enjoyment. This is for our pleasure. Sewing is a hobby, and we should get great joy out of it. Now, everything isn't joyous. Them buttonholes sometimes will cause you to almost lose your religion. I get it. Zippers can sometimes be a pain. However, overall, we should not dread going into our sewing room or dread the accomplishments or lack thereof that we've made in this journey. And so we just, have to remind ourselves that this is for our pleasure. Anywho, enough rambling on. Let me know in the comments what you think, about the patterns and the fabric that I put together. If you're like, V, that's not gonna work, or girl, please don't do that. Or if you've made up any of these patterns, let me know again what your experience is. If you've seen someone else's video about it and you want to recommend that, yeah, please put that in the comments below as well. Again, thank you so much for walking through life with me on this sewing journey, and I'll see you next time. Bye.